All right, welcome back to cryptofront. This is the front line where we are fighting together side by side for financial freedom. Man, what a time to be alive. A lot of crazy things are happening right now. At this point, you can see that BTC is almost like in free fall, but I think that there is a support that is coming very much imminently right there. And then, of course, I want to talk about a specific dynamic that we have also seen time and again, which is very much positive for a lot of altcoins right there. So, I mean, everybody at the end of the day has to make a decision, right? Either you are bullish or you are bearish. According to that is how you're going to be playing with your money. But there is something that is undeniable right there in the charts. Obviously, short term, obviously, we are seeing historical levels of fears that we probably haven't seen in such a very long time in the market. But one thing in common with all those levels of fear is that they have usually marked the bottom of the Bitcoin price, and something also very much special for altcoins. So without me further running my mouth too much, let me get into the chart. But before I do that, I want to kindly ask you to help me spread the video just by delicately tapping the like button. It really helps the YouTube algorithm, and people looking for Bitcoin and altcoin updates will now be able to find this video much more easily. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, because I do TA on these kind of things on a regular basis. You know what, let's get right into it. So what we are seeing right off the gates is the big talk of the town, that you know what, we've got a CME gap right around $80,000 and $77,000. So you can see that, of course, yeah, the Bitcoin price is very, very close to that, because we're at 78 something here. We're closing the CME gap that we can see. I mean, even on a weekly time frame, it's very much visible to see. However, I mean, we also have another CME gap, which is also big towards the upside. We're seeing another CME gap right here at $94,000. Yeah, we're closer to this one right here at $77,000, but we also have got a date to go back to something like $94,000 here for Bitcoin. And this is where I'm saying that there is a specific dynamic that usually has played out in the market in the past, and this is something that we can look forward to. So I don't think that it's over until it's over. You know what, let me explain my thoughts by the opinion is that yes, if we feel the CME gap right here around $77,000, we also have got a very much strong support level that comes in right around $75,000. So maybe we can just wake towards the downside. In any case, if we measure from where the price is sitting already, you're looking at a minus 7% here for BTC. Now, some people may be worried about altcoins, but funny enough, we've actually seen that altcoins are holding way stronger than Bitcoin. I mean, take a look at Bitcoin making lower lows, whilst altcoins are still maintaining the lows that we were having like 3 weeks ago with the previous liquidation. So that's something that is very interesting, and that made me think about something that I experienced in 2017 and 2021, right, with a lot of altcoins, which relates to the Bitcoin dominance here. So what you see on top is, I mean, the chart that I'm moving right there is the Bitcoin dominance. Then of course we've got this line here in blue, and that is the Bitcoin price. Now take a look at this. We've been calling for altcoin season for a very long time, but what a lot of people have not been talking about is that altcoin season usually happens at the end when Bitcoin is already topped. So even if you are in the mindset that, okay, Bitcoin has topped right at this point, look, there's something that is missing that should happen time and again. So this is 2017, this is 2021, this is the season that we are in, obviously, in 2025. And both in those two scenarios, to see a major altcoin season across the board, we had to see the Bitcoin dominance dropping, as you can see here, very much quickly. But it had to do that, obviously, when Bitcoin had already topped. Okay, so I mean, I'm not concluding that the Bitcoin price is top right now, but I'm saying that, okay, even if you are like the most bearish among us to say that, okay, it's over, it's lights out, I still think that, number one, there is a missing altcoin season that happens usually, and we actually see that we are still right on time. We had to wait for BTC to do its thing, and then the Bitcoin dominance starts dropping very much fast here. What it means is that altcoins are going to be flourishing. I'll show you real life examples of that. Before I explain such a concept, I also want you to know that when BTC is dropping towards the downside, it doesn't do that in a straight line. There's, drop, and then it's all over. It has something which is called a retracement, right? And it's within this retracements that we have seen that altcoins do a fantastic job. Before I even talk about that, let me also show you that, yeah, just to emphasize that we are now headed for a support level on the CME gap number 1, as well as the horizontal support that we can see here, which goes as low as maybe 75k. We also have got the 50 weekly moving average right there, and this has been something that is pivotal for Bitcoin in the life cycles of Bitcoin. I mean, take a look at this crash that we were having back in 2021. This is supporting the price, and more than a support level, actually, it has actually been the thing that indicates that, okay, if you cross below it, yeah, it's over, right? It's lights out towards the downside, and we're not yet there right at this point. We are still above it, so it can still as well play out as a big support level. But in other cycles here, we can see that, okay, this was saying that the whole thing still has got like way much more towards the downside. So you can use that as an indicator too. But I'm deviating from my main points here. What I wanted to say is that Bitcoin, usually when it's going towards the downside, it doesn't do that in a straight line. It usually has got these massive retracements that it does. And within these retraces, this is when we have seen that altcoin happens to happen, right? So let me just give you a quick example here of the 2017 bull run and show you how exactly that played out. So what we saw is that from the top of the Bitcoin price here, we saw the BTC price dropping 40%. Then immediately it started pumping towards the upside. This is what we call a retrace, about a 52% towards the upside. I'll show you real quick what altcoins were doing in that moment. Then I'll also come back to the 2021 cycle here, that yes, Bitcoin had something that is very much similar to what we are seeing here, which is a distribution structure. When that broke towards the downside, I mean, it didn't just go straight down towards the downside. I mean, it was also just pumping once again a 130 something percent, which was, to be honest with you, a retrace, but a lot of people didn't see it that way because it had a slight high. And once again, these were the moments that we saw altcoins flourishing big time. Now let me go ahead and show you how those things have actually played out in the past, like with real life examples. So what we're doing here, we're comparing the BTC dominance to what altcoins were doing during moments like this one. So we'll start with an easy one. This is Litecoin, for example. Now you see that Litecoin actually started pumping when that Bitcoin dominance was starting to drop towards the downside. This was even much more clearer in 2021 because you see that, okay, the BTC dominance drops here. BTC has already peaked, and this is where you see Litecoin pumping towards the upside. Look, we are in such a moment right now because normally you would have expected that BTC would be grabbing all the dominance and stuff like that. It's not what is happening right now. Altcoins are holding stronger than BTC, and we're waiting for that rotation to happen. Then we have something like this. Now let me give you another example real fast here, which is, maybe we can go with Dogecoin as a quick example right there. Now maybe we can remove Litecoin for a second so that we don't have confusion. But take a look at Bitcoin again. In 2021, it had to wait for the top for Bitcoin to come in right there. The dominance drops, and this is when like it was going giga bullish, as you can see right there. Now in this moment, it feels so crazy to say that there is an altcoin season that can come, but it's very much clear that there is a leg that can happen here between the top of the BTC price, the dominance, and then altcoins really rallying towards the upside again. These things are happening when BTC is retracing. Now we also had pretty much the same thing in the 2017 cycle too, because you can see here that yeah, the top for Bitcoin was coming right here where the white line is. You can see it nice and easy. Then of course, let me delete this thing. I'm not moving the way I wanted to do that. So I was saying that the peak comes in here at the white line. Then of course we see dominance dropping. In this moment, this is where you also see Dogecoin really ripping towards the upside once again. So we have that dynamic explained nice and easy, but I think I can go ahead and give you even more examples. XRP was an underperformer in the last bull cycle, but even in that scenario, you saw it doing something that was pretty much great. Now let's start with the 2017 cycle. You see that yes, the top for BTC comes in right there, then Bitcoin dominance starts dropping just as it is dropping right now, and XRP really kicks it in 2017. That's great. Now let's go to a cycle which it really didn't perform all too good, and we have the same dynamic that was happening right there. So once again, Bitcoin peaks, everybody gets bearish, dominance starts dropping, and then XRP starts pushing towards the upside. This situation was happening in the face of the lawsuit as well, so we can say that this thing is still very much valid in different conditions. So that was XRP, Doge, and that was Litecoin. I think we can go with an example of maybe a very, very much low performer like Neo, and we can also see pretty much the same thing, that look, these things have always happened this way. So for somebody who is even bearish at Bitcoin, you would be expecting that, look, there is something that is missing here, which is usually an altcoin season rotation, and we could still see a lot of altcoins do a fantastic job. That's why I'm still bullish on things like Jasmine, ICP, and a lot of other different things. Again, as I said at the beginning of the video, at the end of the day, everybody has to make a decision to say, okay, look, this is the rock that I'm gonna die on, or the hill that I'm gonna die on. Mine is like, okay, we are fighting together side by side for financial freedom. So in the bear market, we simply changed the channel name to maybe not cryptofront but crypto matter, because we would have died on that hill of believing that, you know what, we still have got an altcoin season. Like, this bet is something that we had already made at the beginning of the cycle, to say that, look, is either we're gonna get super rich here or we're going to zero. So nothing has changed personally for me, and I'm looking at this whole thing and I'm saying that, okay, look, even the person who is the most bearish here should be excited, because this is when great things have happened for altcoins. So I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Now for the support levels here for BTC to come in, I think, yeah, whatever will happen, it should happen. And the good thing is that we're actually moving very much fast. Moving slowly is one of the, I mean, it's torturing. So I don't want price action like this one here. I just want you go down, boom. If you're gonna be working everybody, then the recovery can also be quick right there. So conclusions right there, we have got a date, I would say, right around $94,000 here for BTC. So let's see how the support level works out right there. But a quick retrace here to something like $94,000 at minimum is something that is very much significant right there. We'll see when we get to these levels here around $94,000 and see if we can even go ahead and set a new high. If BTC goes on to set a new high there, and the dominance is dropping, man, we could have like one of the most wonderful altcoin seasons that we have ever had. Now, if we also take a look at the king of altcoins, Ethereum, it's really amazing what is happening here. It's holding on support, right? This is really crazy. It's been a violent backtest, but we don't have to run away from the fact that there's a support level. So the longer this thing holds, that's actually the more bullish Ethereum is going to be coming in, because we know that a lot of whales were buying in right there. So let's see if they're going to be dropping in some new buys right there. However, if we break this support level, things now start to look very much differently, and we can be fading slowly and surely away from the idea of having an altcoin season. But as long as Ethereum is sitting on a support level, it doesn't feel good. I know that right now. But this is when things have actually happened in the past. So we'll see if history is going to be any indication of the future right there. But other than that, I think that we can also take a look at the general stock market, which is the one that is scaring a lot of people. Don't think that this thing is isolated to crypto. No, it's the general markets, right? They are scared of a trade war and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, I think people are just looking for a narrative. They figure out that the stock market is overvalued, and every single narrative is being used so that, you know, at least the stock market can be cooled a little bit. However, I think that even if the stock market drops very much strongly, the crypto market is very tiny. It's so small that, you know, in some days we've actually wiped out the whole altcoin market cap, for example, in just one stock, like, you know, Nvidia, Meta, and, you know, Amazon. If you combine them, they can wipe out the rest of the crypto market just by dropping maybe 10% or something like that. So we have a tiny market, and for us to do an altcoin season, it can be something that can be very quick and end before we go for the macro crash that everybody is talking about by this. So I'm still bullish on crypto. One other thing that makes me bullish is that, okay, the great ones that we have seen with altcoins, they don't last a very long time. It's 1 month and then you're out. I'll give you a quick example here of Telco, and you see this whole thing here is happening in a space of 4 weeks, right? In the last cycle. We can even go to the example of Doge in the last cycle. Again, this is not a very long time. It's a month, 2 at most, and then it's pretty much over, right? I mean, just take a look. This has been the nature of crypto. It pumps towards the very end. So I don't know if people have seemed to forgot about that, but this has always been the case. So let's see what happens with the dominance while they, other than that, one of the driving factors of the fear is that, I mean, Wall Street is selling Bitcoin. Well, I mean, it's not Wall Street that is actually selling Bitcoin. I mean, there are people who are probably very new to crypto and realizing that, oh shit, Bitcoin can actually drop maybe something like 30%, and they are beginning to panic sell. So you saw here yesterday was like one of, I mean, the biggest sales that we've ever recorded. It's like 79,000 BTCs had been sold. And the funny thing is that they are being sold on a loss. This would have been something that is very crazy if the people were selling in a profit, because now I'd be saying that, okay, something much crazy is going to be happening by there. I mean, we see also bullish news across the board, but the market doesn't seem to be picking it. I mean, it's just an S-word show, right, left, right, and center. Whatever the case may be, I think that support is fast approaching, and we could be headed for a massive altcoin season that a lot of people didn't expect that it was going to be happening right here, because it's something that has always happened towards the very end. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you could, please delicately tap the like button, share the video with your friends and family, and then I'll see you in the next one. Take really, really good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.